What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Fly Vlog. I am the Fly God, and today we will be headed to a location that is near my home because I don't feel like traveling too far. So, just got out of work, came home, got some coffee real quick, trying to stay productive, and I want to do some training. So, I really like this spot. It has some grass, it has some brick walls. I trained there maybe last week, and I didn't get bothered, so we're going to try it again today. One of the more difficult aspects of training parkour, it's not just the movement. It's not just making sure you don't get injured. The hardest part about training is deciding where you're going to train at. Now, I'm going to share a little story before we head out because I think that this is probably one of the worst case scenarios. Not the worst, but one of the worst scenarios that could happen to you. And basically, I pulled up to a spot. It was a church. I was getting ready to train. I'm setting my gear up. I'm pulling out my tripod. Shortly thereafter, like maybe not even 5 minutes after I arrived, 2 squad cars rolled up, some police officers, and they actually got out of their car. Now, you can find some info on this in my previous vlogs, my original vlog series, the one that I fell off of previously. But basically what happened was a woman called the police and reported that I had an AR-15 complete with a tripod stand. And she reported a gunman at the church, which was just little old me. At the time I had a one-wheel Pint. I now ride the XR, but I pulled up on my Pint and I was gonna film and get some training, which I did. They didn't make me leave. All they said was, oh, must be a misunderstanding, have a nice day. They're actually very kind and very professional. Shout out to those 2 officers who showed up to the scene. But yeah, that was a horrible thing. You do not want that to happen because most of the time, especially right now, no shade towards police officers in that respect because they do deal with a lot of crazy stuff. And yes, there are those bad apples out there. I have law enforcement in my family. So like I said, that's no shade towards officers, across the board, but it is what it is. Now, with that being said, I'm very particular about choosing my spots, especially depending on what day of the week it is. You can run into different issues depending on what day it is. And that's why we're going to be heading out to this specific location. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me today. We are out here at this little secret spot of Phoenix. Not too many people know about this spot, and I kind of want to keep it that way because I don't want anybody burning it up, and then I can't train here anymore. So let's take a look at some of the challenges we got. All right, so first up we have the warm-up spot, which is the Kong. Let's go ahead and get a better look at this. So it's a pretty big wall. I believe it's about 9.5 steps, which my shoes are a foot even, 12 inches. It's about 9.5 feet roughly. Very nice. All right, next up we have another great area. Got some grass and this nice gap right here. Now it does have this drop, which is I want to say about solar plexus height to me. I'm about 5'7". So first up, we're gonna do this Kong. It's really big, but it's a great warm-up. Personally, I feel like vaults, specifically Kongs, are the best way to warm up. Got a little bit of foot liftage on my left side, not too much, but let's run it again. Right foot slipped just a little bit. One more time. All right, so next up we're gonna go for the double Kong. Now the tricky part about this one isn't just the distance, it's actually because it's on a slope. So when you come out, you only have about 1.5 feet of clearance before you have to get to your feet. Very nice. Now this next one is a little small gap with a slight drop. I like to use this to warm up my side pre for the challenge we're going to be getting to in a bit. So it's just a tad bit over 5 steps. Another one, bang, let's go. Now for this gap, I like to do the side pre coming this way, of course. The hard part about it is on a hill, so you have to run uphill before you can take off. It's hard to gather speed and power, but I've done it before and we're gonna do it again today. Besides that, I also like to do the 360 pre here, the running 360 pre, which really, it's not running. It's more like taking a 1-2 step and then shooting it. So let's do it. All right, so first throw, we hit the wall. Now let's stick it. All right, so I actually got the stick and the camera died. So I swapped batteries and now we got to get it again. I'm hot. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it's done. F in the chat, man, for that fail though. Get the stick on like my 4th throw and then the camera dies. It literally stopped right before it too. Like all it caught was the run up and then boom, it died. Ah, slippy. Ooh, that was light. Nice and light, that's how I want it. Ah, you hate to see it. That doesn't count. I know a lot of people would take that, but that's garbage. There we go. Changing directions and coming this way. Last time I was here, I was working my combo for basically ghost step 360, shooting straight into a swing gainer or a cheat gainer, whichever you prefer. So today I'm gonna run that back and see if I can up myself. I want to see if I can level up on this ghost step 360 to cork, straight out of it, no hesitation. So let's see if we can get it done. Ultra fail. The degree of difficulty in this is very high. Now we got that with a slight pause. Let's keep working it. Yes! Yes! No hand touch, no pause, new level unlocked. Okay, so up next, I'm gonna put a little spin on a previous combo I did here before. If you wanna watch that, check out my IG. Now it's gonna be a gate. Come around, I'm gonna do a little wall trick and cart full at the end. Next up, what we have is a running pre, take off here, and we're going to pop from here and plyo out to the next wall and see if we can end it with the flip or just a stick. We'll see what happens. I'm not really shooting for anything in particular today, just trying to get my body in the flow, you know what I mean, trying to maintain and keep my strength up. All right. Okay, last but certainly not least, the final challenge of the day is going to be side pre from the far one in the back to the middle one, straight into another side pre here. You can see that this first one has a little bit of girth to it. It's pretty chunky. And the last one is significantly smaller, which is better for me because it's hard to generate a lot of force out of a side pre for another flip. And it's something I haven't had very much practice with. I think I've attempted it on one other occasion. You can find footage of it on my Instagram, but let's see how it goes. I made it. I should walk from that, but my pride won't let me. My addiction to tech won't let me. Yes! That was a fight. That was a fight. All right, so all in all, it was a great session today. We had a long fight at the end there, but very happy with my progress. Very happy that I'm still able to move throughout the week, consecutive days, even with getting up early in the morning for work and being tired when I get out. Sometimes you just gotta learn to fight through it. So if there's anybody out there who's struggling to train and you're telling yourself that it's too much or you don't have enough time, I want to be here and make this point to you that you can do it. And I hate to be the person giving tough love, but if you're not training, it's because you don't want to. You don't want it bad enough. Sometimes you just got to do what you want to do. Do what you got to do. If you want something, you go out there and get it. You know what I mean? When we want an item, when we want material possession, we're real fast to go out there and make sure we get it. You know what I mean? Saving for things that we really need, it's a lot harder than saving for something you want really bad. I'm guilty of it too. You know what I mean? Sometimes when we want things, we can make it happen. And so, that's my point there. If you want this training bad enough and you want to do this and this is what you love to do, you're going to find the time, you're going to make the time. And the best thing you can do for yourself is stop making excuses. I know this personally because I was doing that for a long time. I put off my training for a long time. I got in my own head and said that I just didn't have the time for it and that I had too much going on, or excuses. Go out there, find the time and do it. You know what I mean? And do it right, do it well, and give it your all. In anything you do, not just parkour, anything you do, give it your all and make it happen. Go out there and get that money. All right, what up guys? We are back in the studio once again. Just had a bomb session. I hope you guys enjoyed the footage and some of the challenges I did. Let me know what you think. I'm saying, is it whack? Is it dope? Drop the comments down below. And real quick, because I did touch on some things at the very end there, I want to share something that I've kind of been having in my mind for a while now. I get a lot of questions from people on IG, how do I level up my game so quickly? What am I doing? You know what I mean? Basically, how am I leveling up in such short increments? And this is my advice to everybody out there, because I noticed this with everyone. When I say everyone, I really mean everyone, okay? There are very few people out there who train the way that I train. And something about me you'll notice is I like to drill things. I don't just give something an attempt and then walk away from it, take a 2.5 minute rest, 5 minute rest, and then try it again. You know what I mean? I drill it. The high intensity training is what's going to make you stronger, okay? Now, if you're content, now mind you, our crew is called Intent. I have an intent. My intent is to get better, stronger, faster, more precise. Yeah, you can train your technique and you can get your technique down to a T, but you're not gonna have the stamina, you're not gonna have the endurance, and you're gonna build strength in much smaller, much slower increments. Now, if you're content with your training, when you're training that way, by all means, I'm not throwing any shade at you. I'm just saying, if you want to get better faster, if you want to get stronger faster, okay, this is what you have to do. You have to train at a high intensity, okay? Like if you were doing a anything, any kind of sport, you're training at a high intensity, okay? You know, people run suicides. They run suicides, they drill these things, they drill different movements, and you see them. They get their heart racing, your heart's pumping, you're sweating, you're drenched. You know, you ever run the mile when you're in middle school? When you run the mile and you get done and you're just like, you want to lay down on the ground and you feel like the world is spinning? You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to train to that level, but I'm telling you this right now. Train at a high intensity. That doesn't mean you need to be, you know, going and doing cast fulls back to back to back to back. I'm not saying that. That doesn't mean you need to go and train side prees back to back to back to back. No, drilling can be anything. It can be a very simple, very, very simple movement, okay? Take something that you have a low risk on, like a Kong vault, a basic Kong vault. It doesn't have to be a huge gap. It doesn't even have to be a gap. It could just be a wall and you could have some grass on the other side. Just drill that. And I promise you, you know, give your body the rest it needs afterwards. You know, if you need to take 2-3 days, whatever it is, take that break. You will see results. I promise you this, okay? Train a movement at a high intensity. Keep doing it. Don't give your body that break, okay? I know it kind of sounds counterintuitive because you need rest, you need to recuperate. But if you want to build the stamina, if you want to build the endurance, train your drills, okay? Pick a movement and drill it. Train at a high intensity. There's no point in taking these long breaks and, you know, you're not sweating, you're not breaking a sweat. There's no point in that. If you're training, it's called training for a reason, okay? Now, that's not to say I do that every time I go out, because I don't. But I make sure I do it frequently enough so that I can level up at the rate that I want to, okay? Like I said, if you're content with what you're doing, then by all means, continue doing what you're doing, and, you know, hats off to you. But if you're like me and you're trying to get better faster, you want to get stronger, you need to drill your techniques. Okay, pick anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a baby gap. I don't care if there's no gap. Train at a high intensity, and I promise you, you will see results. This has been another edition of the Vlawg. I hope you enjoyed my trainings today, and I hope you take my advice to heart. Okay, but again, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not telling you to go out there and run yourself into the ground and train until you can't get over the wall anymore, or until you can't perform the technique. You know, for you, if you're not used to it, you might just do it a few times, maybe after 10 runs, back to back. That might be it for you. Okay, then boom, take your little break. Do it again. Next time you might only get 6. It might be 4. It might be even less than that. But the point is, get your heart rate up. Start to sweat. You know what I'm saying? Do that, and you will get the results that you want. Until next time, guys, I am the Fly God, and I'll see you later.